Our next session is also powered by an organization that we know quite well and was also a very good sponsor to our journey of increased diversity, and that's the International Maritime Organization. So the next topic that we're digging into is breaking barriers, women's inclusivity and gender diversity in biofueling and marine plastic litter. This session is moderated by Captain Arvind Sandra, and he's working with Maersk, a company that we know have put diversity up on the agenda, not only on shore, but also at sea. Mr. Shankar, he works as a culture and capability manager, a combination that I'm sure will actually make our next session quite good. And with us on stage, he is joined by, let's see, Reem, Hasan, Qutaish, Sandra, Okoli-Ubong, and Paola, Acuña-Chacón. I think I pronounced these names wrong, but please welcome on stage.
Well, welcome to the session on breaking barriers. This is an IMO-powered session, and I'm extremely delighted to host three powerful women here who have broken barriers in the maritime industry to rise to the position they are in. And also, they are fighting the battle against maritime litter and biofouling. So with us today, as introduced, we have Paola, Reem, and Sandra. A brief introduction I will give you about the project. Biofouling is one of the main vectors that creates invasive species in the maritime ecosystem, and it's one of the greatest threats to maritime biodiversity. Biofouling also increases the vessel's drag, thereby increasing the amount of fuel we consume, at the same time increasing the greenhouse gases that vessels emit. In 2023, the IMO published the guideline on control and management of ships' biofouling to minimize the transfer of invasive aquatic species and to assist developing countries in effective approach to biofouling management. Another very significant factor in maritime pollution is plastics, and this is where the Glow Litter project assists partnering countries to prevent and reduce plastic litter through legal, policy, and institutional reforms at a country level. Both these projects have also taken a stand and seen to it that gender diversity and gender action is specifically built into the inclusivity, diversity, and sustainability measures. With that, let's hear a message from IMO that we have for you.
Wakame is an edible seaweed, yet it's been identified among the most invasive aquatic species on our planet. In one European country, the power generation industry spends more than $10 million annually trying to stop the Australian tubeworm clogging up cooling water intakes. These are just two examples of an insidious problem that's occurring all over the world. Invasive aquatic species introduced by biofouling. But how does it happen? When surfaces and structures are exposed to the sea, aquatic organisms, some of them invasive, can build up rapidly. Left untreated, they can have severe consequences. Once introduced, invasive aquatic species are almost impossible to eradicate, and they can pose a major threat to biodiversity and destroy healthy marine ecosystems. They can damage human health and have a negative effect on tourism. And dealing with invasive species can cost huge sums of money. A range of key maritime sectors and activities, including shipping, oil and gas, renewable ocean energy, recreational boating, deep-sea mining, aquaculture, and fisheries, can be affected by biofouling and spread aquatic invasive species. And biofouling on ships can also increase hull resistance, resulting in higher fuel consumption and more greenhouse gas emissions. But there is a solution: a global project led by the International Maritime Organization has been set up to tackle this problem head-on. Backed by the Global Environment Facility and the UN Development Programme, IMO's Biofouling Partnerships is bringing together stakeholders from all over the world to develop and share solutions to biofouling. Working closely with pioneering countries, industry, and institutional partners, Biofouling Partnerships will raise awareness, foster research and development, share best practices, including IMO's own biofouling guidelines, and help promote technical solutions. So if you want to help protect biodiversity and be a part of the global solution, see how the Biofouling Partnerships project can help you.
Yeah, thank you for that. And that was a message from IMO on biofouling. And glow litter, yes, definitely. Thank you for that. So yes, my first question is to Paola. Paola has traveled all the way from Costa Rica, and she promises me she's not having any sleep disorders, or she's not tired at all. She's energetic and ready to go. But I saw her drink a lot of coffee, so you know what's keeping her awake. All right, Paola is also the national focal point and coordinator to the National Task Force of the Glow Litter Partnership Project. And Paola, can you just tell us about your roles and responsibilities at Glow Litter, and what led you to this unique career? Maybe also highlight a little bit about the challenges that you faced in your initial years as you stepped into this role.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, Arvind. For me, it is really an honor and a pleasure to be here. Thank you, IMO, for the invitation, and thank you, Samjan, as well, for the invitation. As the national focal point and the National Task Force coordinator of Costa Rica for the Glow Litter project, I have the opportunity to facilitate the cooperation from Glow Litter in accelerating the incorporation of IMO conventions into our national legal system and support capacity building for all stakeholders of the maritime and fisheries industries, and create awareness about the plastic marine litter and its negative impact on the marine environment, tourism, and fishing industries. I have been able to facilitate the work of the institutions that are involved in the project to implement step by step our NAP, our National Action Plan, in order to eradicate the plastic litter. But the main challenges that I have been facing as the coordinator of the National Task Force, it is that, I don't know if you know that in Latin America, we don't have a lack of financial resources. I think that what we have, it is a lack of coordination and communication among the institutions that are involved in the maritime and the fishery sectors. So as the coordinator of the National Task Force, I have been able to bring together all the stakeholders that are involved in these two sectors, and it has been brilliant how they have been collaborating and contributing with their competencies and capacities in order to achieve every step of our National Action Plan. But also, of course, at the beginning, unfortunately, I was facing or challenging that I was not getting support of my colleagues. So, but that was not an excuse for me to continue. It was the other way around. It was for me a challenge to keep working hard to achieve all the goals of the Glow Litter project. And also, we have another problem, a big one. It is the lack of maritime education in Costa Rica. So, unfortunately, we don't have a strengthened legal system in the maritime laws, but with the project, we hope that soon we can adopt and ratify the MARPOL and the London Protocol in order to strengthen our legal system and can achieve good regulations in order to tackle this big problem of the marine plastic litter that we have in our seas.
One more question to you on this line. This plastic litter which you're talking about from sea, is it possible to reuse them, or what do you do with that?
Thank you for the question. It is an excellent question because I would love to tell this beautiful audience what we have done in Costa Rica with the plastic. With this amazing project, we have received a big contribution of the Global Ghost Gear Fund from Canada. We won a 350,000 Canadian dollars in order to achieve or to implement a project to recycle our fishing gears. So, as you know, one of the objectives of Glow Litter is to establish partnerships between the public and private sectors. So our National Coast Guard and 2 NGOs come together and we create this beautiful project to recycle the fishing gears of our coastal areas. So right now we are converting or transforming those fishing gears into reusable materials such as plastic wood to construct benches and decks. And with that, we also are motivating the fishermen to collect their fishing gears and to collect them in these beautiful small bins that we have created from this plastic material. So we are hoping that for our next Oceans Day, World's Ocean Day, we can give a recognition of the fishermen or the fishermen community that most collect fishing gears in this big bin that we have established.
Wow, Paola, that was amazing. You quite are the face of transformation in Costa Rica, right from the grassroots level, training in schools to going to the rural areas, I believe, with the fishermen training, and also working along with your colleagues and inspiring them to take action. Hats off to you, amazing. So moving on, we'll move to Reem. Well, Reem is a member of the National Committee of Biofouling in Jordan. Of course, she's from Jordan, and also she's the treasurer, again, treasurer of the Arab Women in Maritime Association. You know what that means, what treasurers do.
Good evening, good afternoon, everyone. First, I would like to thank all who are organizing this conference. Especially, I want special thanks for Sinjam. I'm very grateful to be here with you today. Now, the reason for my entry into this field and to be a member of the National Biofouling Committee in Jordan because of the importance of the biofouling in environment and in environmental balance, and the ability to be present in sensitive topics and fields-related topics considered professional, and the impact it has in the world, in human, in animal life, and balance cover. And regarding to gender equality, we want to talk about this and how women can contribute to solve the issue of biofouling. We want to have everyone on board, including women in maritime. We need you. We need all the women in the world, especially Arab women in the maritime sector. We have to discuss the contribution that women can make to tackling the issue of invasive aquatic species introduced by ships biofouling. In order for women to engage into this field, they must be well educated and have a very high experience in both environment and maritime sector. By working together and hand in hand, we can reach. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Reem, and it's a pleasure to have you here today with us. Well, the next person, Sandra, a long list of accomplishments. I'm going to mention a few of them. She's a marine and mechanical engineer. She works with the ABS Bureau of Shipping. She's a marine and offshore surveyor and also a member of Women in Biofouling Network. Sandra just finished a vessel inspection and she flew straight in here. I'm fortunate when I was sailing, I didn't get a strict surveyor like Sandra. So I did not have any detentions. All right, Sandra, on that note, I want to understand what inspired you to pursue a career in biofouling research and technology, And have you faced any unique challenges in this male-dominated industry? But wait, I always add a twist. I like to add twists to the questions. What were the benefits of being a woman? Nobody talks about it, do they? They always talk about what are the challenges women face. What, let's add a twist to it. What are the benefits of being a woman, in this, I would say, clearly in the past male-dominated industry?
Okay, I'll start with what inspired me to pursue a career in biofouling. What inspired me to pursue a career in biofouling is the need to reduce greenhouse gas emission. If you look at all the strategies that are brought together by IMO, you see they are all interrelated: energy efficiency, reduction of greenhouse gas emission, and all of that. In the bid to protect the environment, as a surveyor that I am, I got inspired when I go for surveys in the shipyard. It started at a very early age. I started my career quite early. So I worked in the shipyard. I used to wonder, this foulings found on the ship, what effect does it have? And a lot of owners and ship masters, they complain about the IMO regulations. The shipping industry is quite slow in adjusting to new technologies, even though the world depends on us so much. In September, there was a trending video on sustainability reports of Apple. And one of the statements that was made in that sustainability report is that Apple will be transporting their products via shipping. That meant to them that will reduce greenhouse gas emission. So it's obvious that the world leans in the shipping industry, the maritime industry. So there's a lot to be done to reduce the greenhouse gas emission. And this is why the Department of Partnership and Projects was created by Mr. Kitaklim, the present IMO Secretary General. This is to help the shipping industry to adjust to the changes. Biofouling management is one of the IMO strategies to reduce greenhouse gases that makes business sense to ship masters and to ship owners, because this helps to reduce the amount of fuel that is being used by these vessels. So it's a very, very interesting and intriguing topic, and I like the fact that it's a new technology, it's a new format, and all hands are on deck, and everybody is trying to bring out new innovative ways of fighting these invasive aquatic species. Then I'll go over to the next question, which is what are the challenges and the benefits of being a woman in this industry? If I start talking about the challenges, it's not going to be different from what every other person has stated on this stage today. So I will say this: my challenges, I turn them to my benefits. I started my career as, I studied marine engineering first before I studied mechanical engineering. So after studying marine engineering, it was quite difficult for me to get placements on board due to obvious reasons, gender inequality. So I started off as a cadet. I did my first 6 months, and I had a very good appraisal. But whenever there's a major challenge, the women are always thrown out. They find an excuse to throw the women out, no matter how qualified you are. So I turned my challenges to skills. I could remember when I went for a training, I was the youngest in the room and the only female. The trainer told me something. He said, "Sandra, you have the passion, you have the tenacity, and you're smart for this job, but you have to really equip yourself." In the process of trying to equip myself, I get myself skilled. The reason why I went back for my second degree, and it has helped me to go always over and beyond. As a surveyor, I do survey after construction. Most of my surveys are after construction. I don't just rely on the information that I have that is being curated by my company. I go over beyond to know what's happening in the industry, what's going on. I do a lot of audits, and I audit in-water survey companies. So anytime I go to survey a ship, the IMO Biofouling guideline the new one was released by the Marine Environmental Protection Committee in July. Every time I go for a survey, I drop that guideline on board the vessel. I explain to the captain, this is why. I've been a seafarer, so there are sometimes most seafarers just do things because this is what is required. This is what IMO says. They are trying to protect the environment. So coming from that perspective as a surveyor now, I get to explain to them, this is the reason. I give them more insights, and they always get impressed. So I always drop the biofouling guidelines on every vessel. That's my own contribution in fighting invasive aquatic species. And also when I audit in-water survey companies, I tell them this is where the industry is going. By tomorrow, there will be an IMO meeting, IMO CARES meeting on how to bring in technologies to fight glow litter and also biofouling. So I go far and beyond. I drop this, I enlighten these in-water companies. I tell them this is where the industry is going. It will be a proactive means for a company to begin to think of how to clean this in a more efficient, clean ship hulls in a more efficient way, and also how these biofouling, these microorganisms are being collected. They have to be collected in a sustainable way. I give them this information. I'm presently working with some team of people where we are coming together to go into the maritime school, where we inspire these young ones. As you're going to the ship, you're no longer going there to just maintain your machineries, to walk on board and just do your bit and go. Now, we are inspiring them, telling them, when you go there with an innovative mindset. What can I change? How can I contribute to the changes that is happening in the industry? What can I do to contribute? So these young ones are now being inspired. So when they go to schools and they are doing their projects as marine engineers, nautical scientists, marine operations, at whatever the case may be, they are being inspired, like, okay, I'm going on board, I'm going to contribute to these new technologies and these new formats that IMO is bringing into place. And IMO has been doing a lot when it comes to women, supporting women in the maritime industry. That's the reason 3 of us are seated here, right? So IMO has been so instrumental in supporting women through her Women in Maritime project. We have a lot of women that have gone to the World Maritime University sponsored by IMO. I've been sponsored by IMO for a couple of courses, and IMO actually walked the talk. I wasn't able to attend the Arab Women Maritime workshop that happened, but I sat back in my house to watch the video, and within a short while, I saw IMO implementing most of the outcomes of that conference, which was the creation of the TET Biofouling Women Group, which is headed by Sanjam and a couple of our colleagues. And this is really great. And
thank you for that, Sandra. Wow, I can say in India we say direct dil se. Translates into straight from the heart. You spoke straight from the heart, and it had a lot. I think a lot. Very often we men don't understand how entitled we are with the opportunities that are at our beckoning. And I think a great role model for a lot of these cadets who are seated here on how you turned a moment of adversity into a greater opportunity. And I love the fact that you said, there are a number of challenges, but you made that your benefit, and that's such a strong statement for the generations to come. Thank you for that, Sandra. We'll just close with the last question, and this is an open question to all of you who wants to take it. Have you witnessed or implemented any specific initiatives or strategies that improve inclusivity and diversity in the biofouling industry? Just a quick note on them, please.
In May 2023, a workshop was held in Jeddah to increase awareness of biofouling and best practices in management to protect marine biodiversity and tackle climate change. The workshop was a forum for women in the biofouling management sector to identify barriers and gaps related to gender equality and to explore possible solution. I was very grateful to be there and to be one of the speakers to talk a little bit about our procedures in Jordan regarding to the biofouling. Thank you.
I will take one closing statement from Paola in the want of time, and just one final one. I know the coffee is brewing, the pot is hot.
Thank you, Arvind. I think that, as I mentioned, Glow Litter, the main objective is to establish partnerships between the public and private sector, but also to encourage and promote more women to be part of the sector. And with a Glow Litter initiative, we have been taking advantage of all the plastic litter that we have been collecting in the coastal areas of Costa Rica for being a beautiful opportunity for women in the coastal areas to start a new business as a circular economy project. So they can, for example, with the plastic litter collected from in the beaches, they can start creating structures and beautiful jewelry. So that is a good project that we have that involves women, and that is a way how, as Glow Litter says, we can impact globally to eradicate the plastic litter in our seas and to promote more women in the maritime sector.
Well, then, thank you very much. Okay, Sandra.
Just one more thing.
We get one more
I just have to say this. This is a global conference. A lot of women are watching from different parts of the world. I remember when the first time this conference was held in 2020. I was in a very challenging time in my career where I have been discriminated over and over again, and I was almost depressed at that point in my life. So I don't know who is watching me. Maybe one marine engineer somewhere asking herself, how long is this going to continue? What I will say to a younger version of me and a young marine engineer or whoever at this industry that is facing any challenge, what a time to be in the industry. This is a time where diversity, gender inequality is being spoken. It might look like there's so much talk that is going on about this, but things are happening. Things are changing. So don't give up. Keep pushing, and you'll succeed.
Thank you. Thank you for that wonderful note, Sandra, and thank you, Reem. Thank you, Paola.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Arvind, Reem, Sandra.